Hey folks, I get it. When you're thinking about stepping up from a smartphone or a tiny point-and-shoot, the idea of a full-frame camera can feel both exciting and terrifying. You want something that won't weigh you down on a weekend hike, but you also don't want to end up with a pricey piece of gear that sits unused because it's too complicated or just doesn't deliver the images you imagined. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Sony Alpha 7C is basically the answer to that dilemma for a lot of people. It's marketed as the world's smallest and lightest full-frame mirrorless body, and the reality lives up to the claim. The camera weighs just under 500 grams with the kit lens attached, which means you can carry it in a regular backpack without feeling like you're lugging a brick. That portability makes it a surprisingly comfortable companion for street shooters, travel vloggers, and anyone who wants to stay nimble while still having a 24-megapixel sensor at their fingertips. When it comes to actually taking a picture, the autofocus system is where the Alpha 7C starts to feel mature enough for serious work. Sony packs 693 phase detection points covering roughly 93% of the frame, so even when you're chasing a moving subject in a crowded market, the camera locks on quickly and stays locked. I tested it on a bustling farmer's market, and the AF tracked a child running between stalls without hunting or dropping focus. That confidence is a big win for anyone who's worried about missing the moment because a tiny camera can't keep up. Low-light performance is another area where the full-frame sensor shines. The back-illuminated 24.2 MP sensor delivers clean images from ISO 100 up to a staggering ISO 204800, though you'll probably stay in the 64001280 range for realistic handheld shooting. In practice, I shot a candlelit dinner using only natural ambient light, and the resulting photos retained texture and color without the heavy grain you often see on APS-C or smaller sensors. If you frequently shoot indoors, at night, or in overcast conditions, this camera gives you a margin of safety that smaller sensor competitors simply can't match. Image stabilization is built into the body, offering 5 stops of compensation. For most handheld video and stills, that means you can walk around with a 35mm focal length and still get smooth footage or crisp shots, which is a huge plus for vloggers who don't want to haul a gimbal. However, the kit lens isn't the most stabilized lens in Sony's lineup, so if you plan to push into longer telephoto ranges you'll notice a bit more shake. Pairing the body with a newer OSS lens will extract the full benefit, but the baseline stabilization still makes the kit usable for casual video. One of the biggest questions people have is whether the menu system feels approachable. Sony has a reputation for deep, sometimes labyrinthine menus, and the Alpha 7C is no exception. The first few weeks feel like learning a new language, especially if you come from a DSLR background where everything is on dedicated dials. That said, the camera does let you assign a lot of functions to the front and rear buttons, so after you set up your custom layout you can operate most features without diving into submenus. If you're a beginner who wants a plug-and-play experience, you'll need to budget a little time for menu acclimation, but the payoff is a camera that can grow with you. Battery life on the Alpha 7C is respectable for a compact full frame. Sony rates it at about 740 shots per charge using the LCD, which translates to a full day of shooting for most hobbyists. I managed to get through a full weekend trip without swapping batteries, but I also kept a spare in my bag just in case. The battery is the same NPF-Z100 used in larger Sony bodies, so if you already own a Sony full-frame camera you can share spares, which is a nice ecosystem benefit. Now let's talk about lenses. The kit comes with a 2860mm f43.5, a modest zoom that's good for everyday snapshots but a bit soft at the wide end compared to Sony's premium lenses. The good news is that Sony's full-frame mount system is massive, with dozens of native lenses ranging from ultra-wide to super telephoto, plus a thriving third-party market. If you're planning to stay in the kit for a while, you'll find the focal range a little limiting for portrait work or sports, but you can easily upgrade without needing an adapter. That flexibility makes the Alpha 7C a solid entry point for hobbyists who want to expand later. So who should buy this camera? If you're a travel enthusiast who wants a full-frame sensor in a pocket-sized body, a content creator who needs reliable autofocus for spontaneous street or event shooting, or a beginner who is ready to invest time in learning a professional-grade system, the Alpha 7C fits nicely. Its lightweight design, strong low-light capability, and robust autofocus make it a practical step up from smartphones without the bulk of a traditional full-frame DSLR. On the flip side, if you're looking for a camera